kryptonite burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels scream and spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oil slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Crowds gather up like wolves, howling for that speed. Races blood pumping, fast gasoline is all they need. Tracks alive like a monster, the dirt flies and bends. Ruthless turns, hard turns, savage till the night ends. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Underneath the moonlight, crowds roar so loud. Pride's in the throttle, not in faces of a crowd. A brotherhood of metal, sweat, gears that grind. Cross that line or get left behind. Cold air cuts the dawn, still our fires rage. Holding bruises like
Woo!
trophies.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rumble here from Williams Grove Speedway. These drivers are ready to go to battle. They are ready to duke it out as heat race number 1 gets rolling out onto the speedway. They will be led to the green flag by the number 8 machine. It's Tyler Jackson. T-Jack will start there in the pole position. To his outside, the number 16 JR. That is Dustin Hennigan with Jeremy Sexton in the 2020 starting there in third. To his outside, that will be the Cocky Floyd Consulting number 4 ride of Seth Castle starting there in fourth. Jacob Sexton will start back in position number 5 here on the speedway, and then we will see Jordan LaFawn and Cody Ernest having to start from down pit side. So we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go here as our first heat race of the day here from Williams Grove Speedway is about to get started, is about to get under battle here this evening for what is going to be an absolutely amazing show, absolutely amazing race here this evening, man. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch and see what these drivers are going to be able to do and how they're going to be able to maneuver and place themselves and put themselves into a position to try and win this race. As we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go here as nice and easy down into corner number 3. Next time by the start-finish line, we should see our official iRacing pace truck make that hard left-hand turn back down pit road, and here we go. Green flag is in the air. Our first green flag of the day as T-Jack Tyler Jackson gets that green flag quickly onto loud pedal, looking to try to open up a bit of a lead here between himself and that 16 JR as they lead him down the back straightaway into corner number 3. Nice and easy. T-Jack tries to wash up a little bit, maybe trying to slide that 16 right up a little bit farther than what he was hoping for out there on the speedways. They'll stay door to door there on the first lap. So for the 8 rider Tyler Jackson, he leads the first lap here this evening, but Hennigan sticking right there with him. These are two drivers that are battling here for this championship. You throw in Jeremy Sexton into that battle as well. So all 3 of these drivers at the front of the field here in this first heat race, they are really in either dire need of points to try to catch Tyler Jackson, or if you look from Tyler Jackson's point of view, he really needs to try and gain a few extra points here. Really wants to open up a bit of a lead. That way you can kind of go into our season finale next Wednesday afternoon with a clear head and not really too much pressure, knowing that the points could play a big role whether or not he wins this championship. As Hannigan makes the move, though, gets around him. Big run down the front straightaway. Move Pepe into position number 1 now on the Speedway. T-Jack back there in second. He's getting work done now by Jeremy Sexton. Jeremy knows he needs the points as well. He needs to try to work his way around Tyler Jackson, knowing that if he can try to earn a couple extra points, it could be beneficial for him here going in to our season finale next week, as they're not going to run each other really that easy. They're going to definitely make life hard on each other here throughout this heat race, and I think Hannigan is absolutely loving it because they continue to keep on bouncing around off each other, and that's allowing him to start to open up a bit of a lead, and that's exactly what he needs. As here we go, the 2020 ride going to try to squeeze him up the track again towards the outside fences. Great battle here. Great racing, great door-to-door action here. T-Jack trying to hang on to second, but it is that 2020 that's edging out in front of that outside lane. All that momentum still paying off here for Tyler Jackson. Now you see a bit of a slide jump out of that 2020. Again, looking to try to close the door here on Tyler Jackson, but T-Jack stays right there to his right rear. Not really allowing him to get up there, really not making that move. And now here we go. He finally does pull off that slider. T-Jack's going to cut back down the track underneath of him. So now Tyler Jackson with that inside lane. He'll look to go to work here. He'll look to see if he can slide back in front of the 2020. And that's exactly what he'll do, as there's contact back behind them between Jacob Sexton and Seth Castle. Is down across the line. They'll click off another lap. And again, he's loving it. He knows that these two are battling hard back here for position number 2. And it's kind of just got him that couple car length lead here, feeling A-OK out in front. Not a lot of pressure to his back bumper. You do see Jordan LaFawn able to get back out there, so the LaFawn Motorsports ride does jump out onto the track. Unfortunately there for Jordan, he would need a big caution flag to try to work himself back into the battle here at the front, as Tyler Jackson tries to continue to hold on to position number 2. Came into this race with the points lead. Doesn't want to give up too much to the 16JR. Doesn't want to give up really much or any to either the 16JR of Dustin Hennigan or that 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton. So I think for Tyler Jackson, his game plan's just got to be to survive here tonight, try to earn as many points as possible, and hope that you stay with a good points gap heading into our season finale next week, as tonight is the penultimate race of the Wednesday night street fights here with the Dirt Warrior Racing League's 21st season. As Anna, what's good? Anna in the chat says, what up, Peacemaker? What's up, Anna? How are you tonight, my girl? How are you? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day, as there is our first checkered flag as Hannigan picks up the heat race win. T-Jack will come home in second. Jeremy Sexton there in third. Jacob Sexton, Seth Castle, Jordan LaFawn, and Cody Ernest will round out our top 7 here in heat race number 1. That was definitely a bit of an exciting one. Obviously, when you throw in 3 of our top 3 drivers here in the point standings, really makes things that much tougher, that much more interesting here, and definitely makes it that much tougher, as I do believe coming into this race, Tyler Jackson had about, what is that, 70, nope, we're looking at 28 points, if I do my math correct there. 28 points between himself and Jeremy Sexton, and then he had about 32 points between himself and Dustin Hennigan. So a bit of a gap there. He had some good breathing room coming into this race. Now he's able to gain that extra point there on Jeremy Sexton by finishing in front of him. He does give a point or 2 back to Dustin Hennigan there. So those two probably getting really, really close, Jeremy and Dustin. But for Tyler Jackson, I think that will net out to a bit of a win there, and at least give him maybe 29, maybe 30-point difference now between himself and the second place battle there here in that championship, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to roll here for heat race number 2. As rolling out onto the racetrack, it is the number 20 ride. That is the beautiful looking new paint scheme here, Metallica on the hood here for the Gage Farms EJR Conky Floyd Consulting number 20 machine. That is Philip Sexton. Philip will start here in position number 1. To his outside will be that 13 ride of Evan Monaghan. The TNT Racing number 99 of Tim the Toolman Taylor will start there in position number 4. Then we will see the number 4 of Ryan Howard, and then we see William Hargraves. Hargraves there in that Dirt Panda iRacing iFlag DWR number 71 ride, starting there in 5th. Back in 6th will be the 357 of Derek Rice and his Cocky Floyd Consulting ride in Mitchell Enos. Enos will start back there as well in his Dirt Warrior Racing League number 09 ride. So, that brings up our field here for heat race number 2 here this evening as drivers get ready to head down into corner number 3 and 4, and out of 4, green flags back out into the air for the 20 ride of Philip Sexton. Philip looking to try to run away with this heat race. Evan Monaghan trying to stick right there with him. Now Monaghan, he is quite a few points behind our top 3 here in the point standings, but for Evan, he is 4th in the point standings. So for Evan Monaghan having himself a sneaky good season here, and for right now, that 13 ride sitting in position number 4, he's quite a few points back. He's 60 plus points behind our 3rd and 2nd place points drivers, almost 100 points back of Tyler Jackson, so he's quite a ways behind them, but he does have a bit of a gap between himself and Will Hargreaves, who sits 5th in points. Tyler Ryan Howard, Philip Sexton sits in 8th here, and if he can try to gain some extra points, could potentially slide himself up a little bit farther here in the point standings. Stephen Burrow and Jim Rivas round out our top 10 in the point standings, but here tonight, things could change quite a bit, as I do believe we're going to have a bit of a smaller field. I'm not too sure how many got signed up there late in this race, so we'll have to wait and see if we do have a 3rd heat race or not. But as of right now, 2 heat races, and right now it's Philip Sexton who leads this 2nd one as he leads another lap down across the line, giving that Chevrolet SS Speed Shop number 13 of Evan Monaghan back there at bay with Ryan Howard in position number 4. Tim Taylor rolls there in that 4th position. Will Hargreaves, the Grumpy Graphics ride, sits there in position number 5. Now, normally Will, it always seems like here at Williams Grove Speedway, the 71 ride really comes to life late in this race. It seems like heat races and maybe even qualifying, if we do qualifying, it tends to get off a little bit slower, but throughout that main event, we really start to see the 71 ride work his way towards the front. I don't know if it's tire saving or if it's just strategy or just the way that you can kind of run the bottom lane here when it really starts to get slick. The 71 ride comes to life and starts to really navigate his way towards the front. So we'll have to keep a close eye there on that 71 machine as Derek Rice working down to his inside, trying to take over that 5th position. Mitchell Enos right there as well, trying to slide a little farther forward as the 09 ride back in 7th. But out in front, it's all Philip Sexton, as Philip down across the line will lead lap number 6. We got 4 more laps left to go here in heat race number 2. It's James Beavers. What's good, James? James in the chat coming in showing the love says, what's up? What's up, James? How are you, mister? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, as, man, Wednesday already, a couple more days. The weekend will be here as we do see unfortunate issues here for Will Hargreaves. Hargreaves getting a little bit messed up there in his Pontiac ride, and unfortunately, looks like maybe he comes to a stop here. Maybe gets up into the outside fence. I don't know. Let's take a look here as they head down into corner number 1. And right here, contact. Rice gets into him, loses the rear end kind of there, and unfortunately that sideways drift, losing all that speed and momentum, and for the 71 ride, goes for a little bit of a slide, and unfortunately will fall back into the 7th position. But right now, it's all Philip Sexton here, the closing couple laps in heat race number 1. Number 2, heat race number 2 here this evening. The 2020 ride, though, is sitting out here in front of the field. So Philip Sexton, nice and easy, down and out at corner number 4. Back down across the line here. We'll see that white flag fly. So one more time here for Philip Sexton as the Sexton paint and body Metallica ride looks to try to put himself up and into the winner's circle here for our 2nd heat race of the day. Evan Monaghan sticking right there with them. Ryan Howard, Tim Taylor, Derek Rice, our top 5 is down through 3. And out at corner number 4, it's Philip Sexton, who will pick up heat race win number 2 here this evening. So Philip Sexton gets the job done here in this heat race with Evan Monaghan, Ryan Howard, Tim Taylor, Derek Rice, Mitchell Enos, and Will Hargreaves rounding out our top 7 here in heat race number 2, as we will have a third heat race here this evening. So at least 21 drivers loaded into the sim, 21 drivers looking for the win here this evening, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to rumble. Is starting on the pole in the number 3 machine, it's Jeremy Vaughn. Vaughn at his slinganddirt.com BMS DWR number 3 machine will start in that pole position. To his outside in that beautiful House of Speed Herbert Graphics number 19 ride, the old paint scheme here for Jamie Massey. Massey will start in position number 2 here this evening. Back in that third position is the 33, new looking paint scheme here, a little beautiful looking ride for Mr. Ellington, and James Ellington will start in position number 3. Jeremy Akins to his outside will start there in position number 4. He'll continue to look for more. It's the slinganddirt.com ride. We'll start there in that 4th position. We see Shane Matthews back in position number 5. To his outside, the 216 is Jason Calhoun, and the grumpy old man himself. Beautiful looking new paint scheme here for the Dirt Warrior Racing. iRacing, iFlag, Peacemaker Gaming, slinganddirt.com, Dirt Panda ride, as the 57 of Jim Rivas will start back in the rear of the field. As we will get another lap around here, we'll wait for the official iRacing paint truck to make his hard left-hand turn back down pit side to set these drivers loose and to get rolling here, to get to battle out there on the racetrack for what is going to be another absolutely amazing night of racing action, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be some great racing, and we can't wait to see what these guys got in store for us. Can Vaughn hold on to the top spot, keep Jamie Massey, Ellington, Jim Rivas back there at bay? We'll have to wait and see. It's nice and easy. Down into core number 3, our official iRacing paint truck will make that hard left-hand turn back down pit side, and here we go. Green flag into the air for our 3rd heat race of the day, as the 3 machine got a good jump there, but really didn't look like he got a lot of speed down into core number 1. Jamie Massey able to get his foot down, just rolls right on around him here and takes over that top position down and out of core number 2. The 7 rider Jeremy Akins looking to follow him on through is Jeremy Vaughn. Now trying to hold on to it here, trying to work his way right up there and trying to get back into this battle. I don't think that was quite the restart or start that the 3 machine of Jeremy Vaughn really hadn't drew up, as I think he wanted to try to get that jump on the 19 of Jamie Massey. Unfortunately, did not really go there. I don't know if he missed a shift on the straightaway or got into a little bit of tire spin, but it was almost like halfway down the front stretch, the car all of a sudden stood still, and Massey just drove right on by him. Akins got to his outside and will now take over that 2nd position as Jeremy Vaughn slides back into 3rd. Jason Calhoun there in position number 4. He'll continue to look for more, as you do see James Ellington working that bottom lane. The 33 machine trying to keep himself right in the mix, right in the battle, as he does sit in that 4th position now, as he's able to get back around that 216 at Jason Calhoun. And for the TNT Racing Machine, trying to work his way a little bit farther forward here, as Tim Taylor says, "Happy Thanksgiving, Aaron." Oh wait, he says, oh wait, yeah, it's Thanksgiving for all the American viewers, and Thanksgiving for all the American fans in the stands and drivers out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately for myself, our Thanksgiving was well over a month ago. It was like a month and a half ago we celebrated Thanksgiving there, Timmy. Not only was that the time that we celebrate Thanksgiving for Canadians, but it's also my birthday. I was born on the Canadian Thanksgiving, and my sister was born on the American Thanksgiving. Her birthday is tomorrow. My birthday was on October 13th, which is the Canadian Thanksgiving. Hers is on the 27th, which usually lands on the American Thanksgiving. So cool little thing right there. You know, we were both born on Thanksgivings here, and definitely a lot of cool things to go into that. But Jamie Massey out in front, though, halfway through this heat race. He's just kind of set sail. He's got about 3, 4, 5 car lengths now between himself and that number 7 ride of Jeremy Akins. Jeremy Vaughn right there behind him, though, hanging on to that 3rd position. So good recovery. Didn't fall too far back here in this one, as Tim Taylor says 14th. What's the 14th, Timmy? What's the 14th, brother? As James Ellington there in that 4th position here. Jason Calhoun, October 14th, 1960. Is that your birthday, brother? Okay. I'm October 13th, 1994, my boy. October 13th, 1994. So you kind of know, well, I mean, I guess you don't because you're American, so you don't really have to worry about it. But having your birthday, it's always on Thanksgiving weekend, and it always sucks, man. Like, it was always so hard to have, growing up. We couldn't really have birthday parties or, like, really big, family get-togethers other than, like, general family for, like, Thanksgiving dinner. But it was always Thanksgiving dinner. It was never, hey, it's Aaron's birthday party. It was always Thanksgiving dinner, So it kind of got put onto the back shelf, and kind of sucks. It still happens. It'll happen for the rest of my days, that's for certain. As Jamie Massey, though, out in front, continuing to lead this heat race. He's running away with it as Jeremy Akins, Jeremy Vaughn, James Ellington sit back there, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on the racetrack. As you do see Jeremy Vaughn trying to reel in this 7 ride ever so slightly, see if he can try to at least work himself back up into that 2nd position. But he's only going to have one more set of corners to do it, as the white flag has been displayed. So for the final time here in heat race number 3, they head down through corner 3 and out of 4. It's Jamie Massey who will pick up our 3rd heat race win of the evening. Jeremy Akins will come home in 2nd with Jeremy Vaughn, James Ellington, Jason Calhoun, Jim Rivas, and Shane Matthews rounding out our top 7 there in heat race number 3 here this evening. Unfortunately, that will do it for our heat race action. Luckily enough, though, for all these drivers, is that there wasn't enough drivers to, have a consolation races or anything else. So everybody has an opportunity to race in this feature event. Everybody will get a chance. Everyone will be able to jump out there and battle here and race for this win here this evening. As Jeremy Vaughn says, missed a shift. Oh no. Jeremy, how can you do that, brother? How can you do that? How do you miss a shift, my boy? That is such a heartbreaker. Such a good spot to start. You're sitting there, and I thought you got a great jump, and that's exactly what it looked like, is maybe a missed shift or something, because all of a sudden, it was like you just sat still down, midway through the first straightaway, and all of a sudden you see Massey just blow right on by you. The 7 ride gets you outside, and unfortunately, that one simple mistake cost you 2 good spots out there on the Speedway. But man, it'll be fun to watch, see what you can do here in this feature event. Looked like you were starting to pick up the pace there late in that run, so maybe a little bit of a long run car there for the number 3 machine here this evening, as Jamie Massey has the race lead here. He's going to be looking for potentially a win here this evening after winning that 3rd heat race. He's currently quickest out there on the racetrack here in this warm-up session, so we'll have to wait and see what he can do and if he can work his way up and into victory lane here today. So Massey, Jeremy Sexton, Dustin Hennigan, all these drivers going to be looking to duke it out here this evening. You throw in Will Hargreaves, you throw in Philip Sexton and Jeremy Vaughn, Tyler Jackson, Jordan LaFawn, Seth Castle in there, man. So many fast cats, so many great drivers getting ready to duke it out here in this one, as Tim Taylor says, getting on the podium tonight. He says, get on there, Timmy, get on the podium, brother. We would love to see it. We love to see old Tim, the tool man Taylor, up on the podium and battling for a win here this evening. That would be absolutely perfect, brother. That would be a happy Thanksgiving, I think, for everybody if we were able to see that. As these drivers do get a quick little warm-up session, they're going to get some opportunities to jump out there onto the racetrack, get some practice in, work on their race cars, make sure that they are ready to rumble here for our A-Main feature event. As we'll get a quick break in here, we'll get ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to rumble in just a couple more moments. So don't go anywhere, because you do not want to miss our A-Main feature event.
Roaring engines rip the night, burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels screaming, spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oh, slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, get exhaling battle cage. The stands are empty now, but the ghosts they remain. This dirt track story sings forever in our veins. Wednesday night street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real.
Woo! Alrighty! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go, as our A main feature event is about to get underway here for the penultimate race of the season here with the Dirt Warrior Racing League. Wednesday night street fights. As these drivers get ready to rumble, they get rolling here at Williams Grove Speedway here this evening. Leading us to the green flag will be the 16JR, our first heat race winner of the evening. It is Dustin Hennigan who will lead us down to the green flag. Starting in position number 2 here this evening, I do believe in the number 8 ride is Tyler Jackson. No, Philip Sexton. Philip Sexton will lead us here into the green flag on the outside of the front row. Starting in position number 3 in the 19 ride, it is Jamie Massey who will start there in third. To his outside will be the 8 ride of Tyler Jackson, starting there in position number 4. Then we see Evan Monaghan, Jeremy Akins, our top 6, with Ryan Howard in the 2020 of Jeremy Sexton, bringing up row number 4. The number 3 machine of Jeremy Vaughn in the 101 ride of Jacob Sexton round out our top 10. And then we see James Ellington, Tim Taylor, a pair of TNT Racing rides back there in the 11th and 12th position. Derek Rice, Seth Castle, Jordan LaFawn, Jason Cole will start there in the 15th position. Then we see Jim Revis, who's outside, William Hargreaves, Cody Ernest, Shane Matthews, and Mitchell Enos, bringing up the rear of the field as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation here from Williams Grove Speedway, as the 16JR of Dustin Hennigan will lead us down through quarter 1 and 2. Takes us back down the back straightaways. You do see Jamie Massey now working to the inside here of Philip Sexton, as Philip trying to hang on to position number 2. Massey's looking to take it away from him, and here comes that 8 ride of Tyler Jackson. T-Jack, our points leader coming into this race, just knowing he needs to have himself a solid day, needs to try to keep himself up here towards the top 3, top 5, to make sure that he holds on to a sizable points lead going into our season finale next Wednesday night. So for the 8 ride, that's what he's got on his mind. It may not be win, win, win. It may be survive, 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 and don't give up anything to those drivers that he's competing for the championship with. Right now, one of those championship contenders is sitting there in the top spot. It's Dustin Hennigan, who rolls out in front, has this race lead, and has looked really, really strong early on here in the night. So we'll have to wait and see if Hennigan can hold off Philip Sexton, Jamie Massey, T-Jack, and the rest of the field back behind him. For Tyler Jackson, obviously leading the points, the other driver that's in tow trying to hunt him down for that points lead. Right now is trying to hunt him down on the racetrack as well. The Mad Dog himself, that beautiful EJR Sexton Paint and Body, Cocky Floyd Consulting, Gage Farms ride. That is the beautiful 2020 machine of Jeremy Sexton, who right now rolls in that 5th position. So right now, he's back behind T-Jack. He's about 29 points, I want to say, to this point, after losing a point there to him in that first heat race. So for the 2020 machine of Jeremy Sexton, you know, you're 29 points back. You only got this feature event and one more to go before that championship is decided. You know that your time is running out, and your opportunities to try and gain those points up and try to work yourself into that championship are starting to run out here in a quick hurry. You either really need to have a great night for yourself and hope that T-Jack has a bad night here tonight or next week to really give yourself a solid opportunity or a solid shot at it, or you just need that 8 ride maybe to have a mediocre day here this evening, a mediocre day in our championship race. And if the 2020 can pull off a couple really solid finishes, could definitely make things that much more interesting when it comes down to our season finale in those point standings, as Jamie Massey does take the race lead away from Dustin Hennigan. So Hennigan, who came into this race third in points, he was about 32 points or so behind Tyler Jackson, leading early on here, won his first won the first stage, or first heat race of the day. That's what I'm looking for. That is the word. As won the first heat race of the day. So for Hennigan, he actually gained a couple points there on Tyler Jackson. Now, it's not enough to really close him in too much. And for right now, if he can just hang out here, try to keep T-Jack back there at bay, try to keep this second position, it's going to be easier said than done, because, I mean, T-Jack is just such a great driver, such a fast cat, and he really does understand that tire saving and just trying to keep the car straight as possible, try to keep the tires underneath of you, and he may even give up a few spots here early in this race, or a few opportunities to move forward, just so that way he can save a little bit extra for later in the race, knowing that he's either going to get those spots back or that he can take them away from other drivers that start to slide backwards. So we'll have to keep an eye on T-Jack. I think Jeremy Sexton may be kind of going into that same routine here. He's back in that 5th position. He's behind the 8 ride. I think the smartest thing right now for the 2020 ride to do is maybe just kind of hang right there behind him, see what T-Jack is doing, try to maybe learn kind of throughout this race what T-Jack's doing to able to, you know, try to save those tires, try to put himself into a position that he can also, late in this race, battle up to the front, battle with that 8 ride, and try to steal a win away from him, and hope that maybe along the way something catastrophic may happen to that 8 machine. So we'll have to keep an eye out on all these drivers. As out in front, the driver that's looking to just run away from everybody here in this beautiful old paint scheme here is the beautiful KR1 House of Speed Next Level Racing Herbert Graphics number 19 of Jamie Massey out in front, leading the way here. Massey won last Wednesday, and here tonight he's hoping that maybe another big win coming his way. We talked about it after finding him back in victory lane last week, that this 19 ride, once he starts getting into his winning ways, once he starts winning some of these races and he kind of knocks the rust off after being away from the simulator there for a few months and not really racing on a consistent basis, he's going to be tough to beat. It's going to be hard to find a way to run with this 19 ride and try to beat him out there on the Speedway. But for anybody that can do it, he's one of his old teammates in that 16 JR machine, Dustin Hennigan. Is Hennigan rolling right there in second? If he can kind of maintain pace, maintain tire, and potentially have some left or late in this run, maybe he can make some moves and try to make a splash again here tonight and try to win his season high winning record here this evening. I do believe for Hennigan, I do believe he does have the most wins on the season with 4 now on the year. So he's got 4 wins. He's been up in victory lane. He's gotten a lot of good finishes here. Unfortunately, Tyler Jackson has just been so consistent with the average finish of 3rd. You look back at Jeremy Sexton, his average finish in 4th. You look at the number 16 ride of Dustin Hennigan, his average finish is in that 6th position. So unfortunately, you know, for a couple of those drivers, you know, you're trying to be consistent, you're trying to be there, you're trying to have some good runs and put yourself into position to potentially win this championship. But T-Jack has just been on such a roll. He's been so good here over this season and trying to win another championship. I know he wants to try to win a couple more races here. He doesn't want just one win under his belt for the season, but it's been tough sledding for a lot of drivers to try to find victory lane. When you look through the list, you look at our top 3, T-Jack has 1 win. Sexton has a win. That is Jeremy Sexton with a win. Dustin Hennigan has 4 wins out of our first 10 races of the season. So out of our top 3, there's 6 right there. You look a little deeper in the field at Marcos Pace, who was able to win 2 feature events here this year, and then Tyrell, who I do believe won our opening race, and then last week when we saw Jamie Massey pick up the win there as well. So for a couple of those drivers, when you look back at Tyrell and Massey, you look at the two-race winner there in Mr. Marco's Pace, you know, they're not anywhere close to the points here. They're kind of out of it, but it is going to be down to those top three here in this one. So it's been kind of those three all season long. For most this season, it has been between Dustin Hennigan, Tyler Jackson, and Jeremy Sexton. We knew it was going to come down to these three, and here we are in our penultimate race of the season, and they're all sitting right there tight together, still again up inside the top five. So even if you gain anything, you beat the 8 right of Tyler Jackson, who's our points leader, you're really not gaining that many points on him. Or if you lose some points to him, you're at least not losing that many more to him. But you do that on a consistent basis, and unfortunately you start to see that point lead build up and up and up and up. And for Tyler Jackson, he's been able to just be so consistent throughout this season that he's given himself that points gap. You know, the 28 points between himself and the 2020 coming into this feature event, knowing that you know, he can be, you know, kind of smooth sailing here maybe throughout the next couple of races. Just have good consistent runs, don't run into any issues, you come home with top 5s or top 3s, you got nothing to worry about, and you win the championship here this season for the Wednesday night street fights. And that's exactly what T-Jack has been able to do. As Jamie Massey out in front here. Massey hasn't been here every single week, hasn't really been able to run for that championship, but when he has been out there, man, it's been fun watching this 19 ride, duking it out again in these beautiful dirt street stocks and showing these drivers how to get it done there last week, and now here this week trying to get it done again, trying to look for another win here on the season. As Rodney Stewart, what's good, Rodney? Hot Rod in the chat coming in, show the love, says dirt, dirt, dirt. Let's go, baby. Let's get it, Rodney. How are you, brother? How you doing this evening? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Wednesday, as Jamie Massey right now having himself a wonderful start to this race. It has been 23 laps of racing action, and so far, nice and clean and green. These guys just been putting on an absolute amazing show for us here this evening, as Massey continues to lead here. Only a few car lengths between himself and Dustin Hennigan. Philip Sexton there in third, with Tyler Jackson back in position number 4 as he continues to look for more. Jeremy Sexton there in 5th, with Evan Monaghan back in 6th. Jacob Sexton, James Ellington, Jeremy Vaughn, and Ryan Howard rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Seth Castle there in 11th. Will Hargreaves sits in position number 12, with Tim Taylor, Jason Calhoun, and Jim Rivas running out our top 15. Jeremy Aikens, who's fallen back 7 spots in this race, now back into that 16th position, as Shane Matthews right down to his inside. Here comes Derek Rice, Jordan LaFawn, Cody Ernest there running out our top 20, and it's Mitchell Enos rounding out our 21 car starting grid here this evening. As Will Hargreaves, though, right now he is the hard charger out there on the Speedway. For Will, he's up 8 positions. We talked about how this 71 ride really struggles early on. If it's, you know, early qualifying here at the Speedway, seems like he struggles in those heat races. Seems like he struggles. Once this track really starts to get slicked off, like it's starting to right now, the 71 starts to come alive. It's just lack of mistakes and just hitting his marks, rolling that inside lane, maybe even saving a little bit of tires, just rolling a little bit slower down, pinching to that inside wall around this Speedway. And for the 71 ride, we've seen it time and time again where he can really make a late race charge and navigate his way towards the front, as everyone else really starts to struggle. They're trying to hang on to their race cars later in these runs. So we'll have to keep an eye on what old Willie's doing here, and if he can work his way back up to the front of the field. As Jamie Massey continues to lead the way, though. Massey sits out in front, Hannigan there in 2nd, Philip Sexton back in position number 3. He's now down on the inside lane, as T-Jack Tyler Jackson right there with him. T-Jack maybe looking to try to make some moves here and maybe try to get around this 20 ride and put himself up and into position number 3, as Philip now rolling that inside groove. You do see the 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton. He's gonna roll in the inside lane as well, maybe realizing that this may be the strategy he has to go with. Maybe the inside groove may just be the way to try to save some tire, try to put yourself into a good position late in this race. As of right now, he's falling back quite a ways here from Tyler Jackson's back bumper. It's over a second here, almost 1.4 seconds down these straightaways between himself and the Alpha Shark out there on the racetrack. And for our points leader, he's loving it. He's seeing these green flag laps. He's running good. He's right there in a fight for potentially that third position late in this race. And if he can jump up inside another top three, see maybe Jamie Massey win this race and not Dustin Hennigan, really would help him out in making sure that he, has himself, a 30-point or so gap going in to our season finale next Wednesday night. So for Massey, he's just looking for another dump. He's out here trophy hunting. For Hennigan, he's hoping to try to gain as many points as possible between himself and Tyler Jackson. Philip Sexton trying to move up in the point standings ever so slightly, knowing that he may have a chance or an opportunity to still maybe work his way into, a fifth top five, maybe a top five run here in the point standings on the season. So we'll have to keep an eye on what the points may look like there for Philip Sexton, especially after tonight having another good solid run up here inside the top three. T-Jack's just hanging on. Jeremy Sexton, unfortunately, back here in that fifth position. May have to play a little bit of strategy as our fourth place driver in the point standings, continuing to just have good solid performances here. That 13 of Evan Monaghan, he hasn't been super flashy, but he's been pretty consistent here in that 13 ride. And for Evan Monaghan, he finds himself fourth in the point standings. Now, he is kind of a little too far back to really contend or to battle with Hennigan or Jeremy Sexton for that second or third position in the point standings. I believe he's mathematically probably and nowhere able to catch Tyler Jackson for the points here, as T-Jack had, I do believe, over 90 points on him coming into this race. So unfortunately for Evan Monaghan, won't be able to win this championship. I think it'll be really, really tough for him to maybe even get close to being able to come second or third. But if he can hang on to a top four here in that championship, man, would be a great season there for that 13 machine. Jeremy Vaughn looking to have himself a good day and a good run. We saw him start on the pole there in heat race number 3. Unfortunately, missed the shift on the front straightaway, fell back a couple spots. And for the Dirt Warrior Racing Leagues, SlingingDirt.com, number 3 machine, trying to race his way up towards the front. We do see that beautiful Sexton paint and body 101 ride of Jacob Sexton right there in position number 8 with James Ellington and his TNT Racing 33 ride there in 9th. And now you do see Seth Castle trying to work his Roughhouse Sliders, I do believe, Roughhouse Sliders number 4 ride. The Gunky Floyd Consulting, Sexton paint and body Doghouse Chassis at number 4 ride up inside the top 10 here, trying to work his way around that number 4 machine of Ryan Howard here, as Howard is on the outside in the 4 ride, and the other 4 ride, Seth Castle working right down to his inside. The 33 of James Ellington has both drivers breathing right down his back, and here comes Will Hargreaves in that Grumpy Graphics Dirt Warrior Racing League's Dirt Panda number 71, just outside the top 10 here himself. A little farther back, you do see that Memphis Grizzly TNT Racing number 99 ride of Tim Taylor, who's back in that 13th spot. Jim Revis in his beautiful Dirt Warrior Racing League and number 57 ride. It's the iRacing iFlag machine, sits there in that 14th position. Looking fresh as always, man. We love these absolute amazing, like, rusted out looking paint schemes, the old kind of throwback paint schemes, man. We absolutely love these that Jim does, and it's looking beautiful out there on the Speedway right now. For Jeremy Akins, he sits back in about that 15th position as Jordan LaFawn down to his inside. Unfortunately for LaFawn, he has lost that front bumper there on that 144 ride, but he's still battling hard, trying to keep himself inside the top 15 as him and Akins battle door to door there for that 15th position. The 5 ride of Shane Matthews, he's right there into the mix, as well as Derek Rice back in 18th, Cody Ernest there in 19th, and Mitchell Enos there in position number 20. Jason Calhoun falls back into 21st out there on the Speedways. He's our last driver on the lead lap, and for our race leaders, they're a bit of straightaway, a little less than half a track away from potentially running into some lap traffic as Massey continues to hold on to the top spot. Dustin Hennigan right there with them in position number 2. It's Philip Sexton trying to hold on to 3rd. T-Jack down low, though, looking to try to take it away from him. T-Jack rolling that inside lane, and you can see how this this racetrack continues to get slicker and slicker. Drivers starting to push a little bit farther up the speedway, more towards those outside fences, and unfortunately, the higher and higher up you go, the more and more track you got to use. Could be the slower lap times out there on the racetrack, but for the inside lane, you got to be very, very conscious about your, your brake trailing, and obviously trying to not stab the brakes or spin the tires or put yourself into a position where you lose that rear end and go around or wash yourself up the racetrack in a quick hurry. But you can find some pretty good speed down on that bottom lane, and I think right now for Tyler Jackson, it's really starting to come into his favor as drivers having to continue to move up the racetrack if they're rolling that outside groove. As here comes Philip Sexton looking to try to get back down to the inside here of Tyler Jackson. T-Jack, though, able to slide in there. He's going to move up the racetrack here, so he actually opens up that bottom groove for the 2020 ride. But there is our first caution flag of the day. Our first yellow flag will be displayed here on lap number 44 this evening. So lap 44, we do see our first yellow flag of the day. Let's take a look back and see what happens, as I do believe it's going to be Jeremy Aikens here in his slinganddirt.com DWR number 7 ride. Send it into the corner right here, and just looks like, yeah, gets onto the brakes a little bit too much, loses that rear end, goes for a loop-de-loop, stop there in the middle of corner 1 and 2, and that's what will bring out our first yellow flag of the day. So for Jeremy Aikens, a tough break right there for him, obviously going around, going to lose a lot of track position. We'll go to the rear of the field here for the restart, but that's going to make things very interesting for the rest of these drivers, as, ooh, almost missed pit lane right there, luckily enough able to get it in there and not miss pit road too badly, as each and every one of these drivers will get ready to rumble, will get ready to go back to battle. Now brings into the big question, who's been saving? Who's been saving? Who's got a little something left in their back pocket here for this late race restart? As when we go back to green flag racing, I do believe it will be the completion of lap 44, so we should have about 21 laps of racing action as we go back to green flag racing here in this one. As Ronnie says, wow, that's first yellow. Yeah, first yellow flag there of the day for the loop-de-loop down into corner number 1 and 2. But cautions do breed cautions, and things could get crazy in a quick hurry, especially if some of these drivers maybe a little deeper in the field. When you look back at Jacob Sexton, you look at Will Hargraves, what has Tim Taylor or Jim Rivas been doing? Have they been saving tire? Do they have something left in their back pocket that they could use to really work their way and race their way up towards the front and into the battle for the race win here this evening? As for Jamie Massey, he's going to have to try to hold these guys off. He's going to have to look for a big restart, try to get a launch and try to get a jump here over that number 16 ride of Dustin Hennigan. And as Hennigan rolls there in position number 2, you see how they line up here. It's a Delaware final restart, so the race leader will get that front groove, the front lane, all by himself here. Everyone else will have to line up back behind him, as I do believe we are going to see the green flag fly as we jump back into the live action. So the green flag back out into the air, and for the 19 of Jamie Massey, that's the restart that he really needed. And you watch the 8 ride of Tyler Jackson, T-Jack. He needed that restart as well, as he will jump up into position number 2 as there's more contact, more mayhem, and there is our second caution flag of the day. Caution flag will come back out here. We'll have to wait and see where this caution flag gets displayed. We did see Jason Calhoun maybe get tied up in some of this off the restart right here. Him and Cody Ernest may have ran into some issues, as here we go. We're going to get the green flag. Looks like Ernest going to kind of just get onto the throttle a little bit too much there. Gets a little bit of tire spin in for the 88 ride. He's just going to end up going around right here. Tough break there for the 88 machine right there. Steps on it. Gets a little sideways. The 216 not expecting it. Ends up running into him. Both drivers pointing the wrong direction. That may have been a bit of what started it. But then we see Will Hargraves and potentially the 4, Seth Castle, make some contact here as well. As okay, there we go. 4 ride's kind of bent out of shape. Oh, okay, there it is. So that will be our caution flag right there for Will Hargraves. Really nowhere for him to go, as we're going to watch Seth Castle here. Castle's going to shoot it into the corner. And unfortunately, I think there's a car to his outside. Is that Jacob Sexton, I think? Yes, it is Jacob Sexton. is actually going to hit the barrier here. So if you watch this 101 machine right here, he's going to hit the little track cutout right there as the wall kind of shoots out a little bit. He bounces down to the second lane, bounces into the foreride of Seth Castle. That gets Castle really bent out of shape. He's just trying to figure out what he needs to do here to get into the corner. Unfortunately, doesn't get checked up in time, slides in there, gets into the back into the 3 ride, going to slide himself around, and as he does, he slides right up the racetrack into the 71 machine of Will Hargreaves. Hargreaves nowhere to go in that Grumpy Graphics DWR machine as he gets a big piece of him, big piece of the outside fence, but that does bring our second caution flag of the day to the air. So that's going to be a little bit more excitement because another restart and another opportunity for drivers to try to get an advantage here on Jamie Massey. So we'll have to wait and see how this one gets played out as Rodney Stewart says, this is more like a peacemaker broadcast, baby. This is exactly what we like to see. We like to see a little contact, a little drama, maybe a couple caution flags, but not too many as here we go. Back to green flag racing as the green flag quickly back out into the air. Drivers know that their season is coming to a close in a quick hurry. Their opportunities to try to find victory lane or to find some points that they may drastically need here for the championship are starting to fade away. As Massey will lead us down the back straightaway, but a great run for the 16 JR Dustin Hennigan. Hennigan using the outside lane will jump back down in front of Tyler Jackson and into position number 2, and he may not be done yet. He's looking to go for the race lead. Massey will look to try to keep him back there at base. The 16 JR will get wound up way up high on the high side, looking for a big run again down the back straightaway, and there is our third caution flag of the day. Our third yellow flag will be displayed as this time looks like Seth Castle, unfortunately back there deeper in the field, is going to run into some more issues here. Castle a little deeper in the pack, kind of just looks like he's going to get in there maybe a little too far again, gets into the 357 right or Rice and then gets a little contact himself. I do believe that is the 216 at Jason Calhoun. So we're going to watch him right here get in there a little bit too deep, a little bit of a different angle. Drives into that 357. Now he's sideways, almost going around for the 216. Really not a lot of time to make adjustments or to try to avoid him right there through that slick stuff. Unfortunately, runs into that left rear quarter panel. Helps him go all the way around. And for the Doghouse Chassis number 4 ride of Seth Castle will get pointed the wrong direction. We'll go around and bring out our third caution flag of the evening. So another yellow flag and another restart here on the horizon as cautions breeding cautions. And for these drivers, they'll be looking to try to get some more green flag laps under their belt. They want to see some good green flags. They want to be able to try to figure out when they need to go and how they need to go. And I think for a lot of these drivers, they've started to push that subject. They've really started to think, hey, you know what? This is probably going to be our last restart. This is probably going to be our final restart. So I need to get up on top of my pony here. I need to get going. I need to try to work my way up in front of the field here if I want to give myself a chance. If I hang back for another 5-10 laps, I'm going to run out of time here and may not have enough time to chase down our race leaders and try to steal the race lead away from them. Because it's one thing to get to them. It's another thing to complete that pass. We saw that with that last restart. Massey had Hennigan right there with them, but Hennigan just could not quite find a lane to get around that 19 ride of Jamie Massey, and Massey's going to have to try to do it again here in his next level racing number 19 machine as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to try it all over again. Here we go. Delaware final restarts. It will stay double file here behind our race leader until we hit 10 laps left to go in this race. Any restart inside 10 laps left to go will be single file for these restarts. So for all these drivers, they know that. They know that their chances may get drastically better or worse. It all depends on how we do these restarts, and it's going to make for some nail-biting times late in this race, and we do have to see these guys go single file here for these restarts. As here we go back to green flag racing as the 8 ride of Tyler Jackson. Good launch there with that 19 ride of Jamie Massey. Massey will lead us back down into corner number 1. Shoots it up to the high side, but there it is. Caution flag will come right back out as looks like the 88 ride of Cody Ernest going to run into some more issues here. Him and potentially the 13 of Evan Monaghan. So getting ready to go back green, and contact right off the get-go. You see Ernest trying to hang on to it. The 13 ride trying to cut his way through there. Finally, they come together. Around goes that 13 ride. And for Evan Monaghan, our 4th place driver in the points, that is definitely not a fun spot that you want to be out there on the racetrack. Is take another look at it. So this restart altogether is kind of messed up right there. You see the 216. I'm not sure what's going on with them, but things kind of get stacked up here a little bit on the inside. 216 is going to get right underneath the 88 right there. Give him a shot. Gets up the track and into the 13 right there of Evan Monaghan. So they're kind of broken up here back behind these guys. And then I do believe you're going to watch the 88 right here. Start to go. The car just straightens out right here, and as it does, the 357 is going to drive into that right front tire of the 88 machine, which is going to, in turn, check him up a little bit more. Here comes the 216 and gets in there, gets a piece of the left rear quarter panel, and for Cody Ernest, he's just kind of getting bounced around here on this restart. Finally, you see the 13 with a good run. He's trying to get through all of it, trying to gain a couple more spots. Ernest kind of comes up right there, gets a piece of his left rear quarter panel, probably not expecting him to be 3 wide at that point, and unfortunately gets into that 13 right there. He goes around into the inside fence, back up the racetrack into the outside fence. Some pretty solid contact there for our 4th place driver in the point standings, as another caution flag and another restart here for all these drivers. So all these restarts, what they're doing is it's just building up that, intensity out there on the speedway. For all these drivers, that intensity level just continues to rise, continues to get worse and worse and worse for each and every one of these competitors every lap that we roll here under the yellow flag. So you really just want to make sure you don't make any mistakes, so you don't have any problems, and hopefully you can work yourself up and into victory lane, as Jamie Massey will get ready to see the green flag fly here once again. Is down and out of corner number 4. Once again, another restart, a very slick Williams Grove Speedway. And for that 19 ride of Dustin Hannigan, gets a good launch, a good restart, able to keep that 16 and the 8 ride of T-Jack off his back bumper down into corner number 1. Tyler Jackson, he's going to work the outside lane, though, looking for a big run as Hannigan's going to slide up in front of him. Crossover for the 8 ride of Tyler Jackson. Here comes Jeremy Sexton right into the mix of it here. So our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place driver in the points are top 3 here this evening in the point standings, and here they are 3 wide, 1, 2, and 3 in the point standings, door to door out there on the racetrack. T-Jack gonna slide up the track right there as Pappy right down to his inside. They're looking to go 3, almost 4 wide down the back straightaway as Philip Sexton says, I'm not done here. I want to poke my nose into the fun. I want to gain a couple spots and put myself into the winner's circle here this evening. And right behind Philip Sexton, our top 5 here is that number 71 of William Hargreaves. We talked about Hargreaves and how he seems to always find his way towards the front of the field here late in these races. Really has something figured out in Williams Grove for that 71 ride, and right now just outside the top 5, currently up 14 positions from where he started, and he may not be done. He may be looking to try to gain a couple more spots here late in this race as Jamie Massey continues to lead the way. Tyler Jackson there in 2nd. Does he make the move? Can he find his way to the point? Here is Massey way up high. The 8 ride down low. They're going to be door to door, but the outside momentum will pay off here for Jamie Massey as Massey and Jackson, just like the old days, man, duking it out once again for a race win here in these beautiful dirt street stocks, as the caution flag will fly here once again. So the yellow flag again will be displayed, as I do believe Derek Rice and Shane Matthews may run into some issues. Let's take a look here. So Matthews through the middle right here, jumps up towards that outside fence, and I believe down into corner number 3, shoots it in there. Here comes Seth Castle. Castle's just going to send it in there way too far, ends up getting a big piece of that 5 ride. Unfortunately here for Shane Matthews, really not a whole lot he could do except for just hang on and hope for the best outcome, as Seth Castle just drives her in deep, trying to get a good run, trying to get a good drive, just drives it in there a little too far. Ends up into that left rear quarter panel of that 5 right, spins him sideways, and as he starts to go sideways, you see the 357 of Derek Rice going to slide right into him there as well. So Rice ends up with some heavy damage here, losing that right front completely for this 357 ride as the Doghouse chassis A slider right in here. Bam! Right into his Cocky Floyd Consulting teammate there. And unfortunately, big damage there. You see that right front not attached to the race car any longer. And unfortunately, it's not going to roll too well without it. And he's going to have to take that thing down pit side and unfortunately off of the racing surface here to try to get repaired. As tough break there for Rice, tough break for Seth Castle, tough break for Shane Matthews. But that does put us back under the caution flag. So that's going to make things that much more intense, that much more interesting here late in the race as Jamie Massey will get ready for another restart as we made it through the first, 44 laps of this race without a caution flag. And now we find ourselves running into, 3 in a row, 4 in a row, something like that now. This is now our 5th caution flag. So we went 44 laps without a caution flag, and over the last, 6 laps, 7 laps, we've seen 4 other yellows, 5 yellows technically over the last 7 laps. My gosh. All right, fellas, come on. Let's get it going. Let's get these green flag laps back in. We want to see you guys duke it out under the green flag conditions, man. We don't want to see no eye pacing as here we go. Back to the actual racing as Jamie Massey gets a great launch, a good restart once again. It will give himself that couple car length gap, that little bit of an extra protection down into corner number 1 from a bit of a bump and run down here into the first set of corners. As Tyler Jackson, good run down through 1 and 2 himself, sticks right there with Jamie Massey. See Pepe trying to work the outside groove. Seems like drivers are really finding a lot of good speed. Kind of through that slider lane, a little bit more to the high side there in 3 and 4. It looks like down low here in 1 and 2, maybe the best way around this racetrack now as you see Massey's trying to roll maybe that middle lane again, but here comes Tyler Jackson. Another good run, another good drive as he found something down the inside there on corner 1 and 2, because that really seems to be where he may be better than Jamie Massey right now. And again, they're going to be door to door down and out of corner number 4. This time a whole lot closer. Massey able to lead lap 54 here, but D-Jack, he's putting the pressure on him, and it looks like Tyler Jackson may have had just enough time and just enough tire to maybe make this pass and steal this race lead late in the race away from Jamie Massey. And there you go, the 8 ride now out in front. Can he clear him off of corner number 4? Looks like he will. So for Tyler Jackson, our points leader coming into this race, now out in front leading the way. So for T-Jack, he is leading this one and looking to try to run away with this race. As he talked about it before, he wants to get more than 1 win on the season en route to potentially winning this championship. So for Tyler Jackson, if he can work his way up and into victory lane here this evening, that would be an absolute amazing accomplishment. And now with 9 laps left to go, he's setting sail, man. He wants to run away with this one. He's wanting to see no caution flags. He wants to see this stay clean and green and continue to just pull away from the rest of the field, as right now Jamie Massey trying to hold on to second. Dustin Hennigan there in third. Philip Sexton there in position number 4. He's got Jeremy Sexton right down to his inside. Jeremy knows that if he still wants an opportunity or a chance to potentially try to battle for this championship next week in our championship race, he's got to find a few more spots here. He doesn't want to give up too much again to Tyler Jackson and allow T-Jack to run away with potentially this championship. As Philip Sexton now sits in 5th. We see Jordan Love. Great run here for Jordan Love, now into position number 6 on the Speedway. Tim Taylor there in 7th, Jeremy Vaughn and Will Hargreaves there in 8th and 9th, and then we see Evan Monaghan rounding out our top 10. Ryan Howard there in the 11th position with Jim Rivas right there in 12th, Shane Matthews, James Ellington, Jason Calhoun, Cody Ernest, Jacob Sexton all the way back now into the 17th position with Derek Rice there in 18th. As Seth Castle down in unfortunately a couple laps down now for this number 4 ride, but for Castle, he sits in that 19th position. Mitchell Enos back in position number 20, and Jeremy Aikens back in 21st, as this 4 ride definitely seems like something's gone wrong with it. We'll have to keep a close eye on that. But for the 8 ride of Tyler Jackson, T-Jack has this race lead, and as we said, man, he is setting sail, and he is absolutely gone. We do see Hannigan able to jump back up into position number 2 here. So for Dustin, he slides into second. Massey's in third. He's trying to keep himself here on the podium, but late in this race with only 5 laps left to go, It's all Tyler Jackson, 1.4 seconds between himself and Dustin Hannigan here this evening as T-Jack, the Alpha Shark, looking to try to win his second race on the season and extend his points lead going into our championship race here next Wednesday night as Hannigan in tow, trying to find something, trying to find that lane, trying to find that groove enough for him to try to work his way up towards this battle and try to steal the win away from Tyler Jackson, knowing that this may be their real last opportunities to try to keep their championship dreams alive here this evening as T-Jack out in front, though. He wants to put the nail into the coffin right now. Wants to shut the door on all these drivers back behind him who've been chasing him down all season long for this championship. He wants to put it to bed and steal this championship and run away with this race win here this evening as T-Jack down and across the line will click off lap number 63. So only 2 more laps left to go here for Tyler Jackson as T-Jack down through 1 and 2, nice and easy. Still about a second and a half or so between himself and Dustin Hannigan. So for Tyler Jackson, continues to pull away here in this one. And for the Alpha Shark, nice and easy down through 3 and out of 4. No more caution flags. It is the white flag here this evening. The next flag will end this race no matter what. And for if you're Tyler Jackson, you got 1.8 seconds now between yourself and Dustin Hannigan. You are sitting pretty. You are running away. You don't have any pressure to your back bumper. And for T-Jack, Tyler Jackson, the final time here this evening, down through 3 and out of corner number 4, he will pick up the checkered flag here at Williams Grove Speedway in the Dirt Warrior Racing League's Wednesday night street fights. So our points champion comes in here and picks up the dub here this evening to extend his points lead on route 2, trying to win this championship. And a big win here this evening, his second of the season, will add to that points lead and will potentially be enough to lock him in as our champion here tonight going into that championship race. There may be a glimmer of hope for Dustin Hannigan and Jeremy Sexton as they come home second and third here in this race, so they don't give up too many points here to Tyler Jackson, but it may be enough for T-Jack to lock himself in as our champion here on the year. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out, but for the 8 ride of Tyler Jackson, another big run, another big win, and for this beautiful number 8 machine, the Alpha Shark parks himself back up into victory lane. Exactly what he was hoping for before the end of the season. So we'll get ready to pull Tyler up here into the booth, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. If you guys enjoyed that racing action, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit the like button on the stream right now and hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here this evening. And make sure you jump into the comments section and congratulate this 8 ride of Tyler Jackson here this evening as we get ready to pull T-Jack up here into the booth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here to our race winner. Hey Tyler, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Hey, what's up, Aaron?
Not much. T-Jack, man, what a run, what a drive for you here this evening, as it was a bit of an interesting one. Obviously, we go 44 laps without a caution flag here to start this race. Everyone's just kind of running their lines, just kind of getting these laps clicked down. And then all of a sudden, as that caution flag came out, it brings this onslaught of yellows there. And we see you trying to make moves, trying to make passes here. We see you once kind of, give up a spot or two, and then you get a couple more back on the next wave of restarts, and here you are finally able to get around Dustin Hannigan and these closing laps. We finally get another good longer green flag run. You're able to go after Jamie Massey, and as his car starts to fade away, yours just comes alive there, rolling that inside lane, and you're able to just pick him off with ease, steal this race lead, and once you got it, you never looked back as you're able to pull away to his 2-second lead here between yourself and Dustin Hannigan and the rest of the field tonight to pick up your second win on the season and route to potentially trying to lock down this championship.
Yeah, started out good. Drew a 3, and Hennigan and Sexton were both in my heat, and then I think it was Cody Ernest didn't grid, so we actually got the pole. And then as soon as we got going there, like 1 or 2 laps, I realized the top was better, and Hennigan was going to get me. And then was everything I had to hold Jeremy off. He was really rubbing me down the front stretches there and straightaways, and I didn't know what we are gonna do, if we're gonna get him or not. And finally we crossed him back over and got a little space. But yeah, the feature, we ran a practice race Monday night, and I did the same thing. I just stayed on the bottom the whole race, and it gave up more Monday night to the top. Tonight, the top really wasn't that much quicker. It was the preferred groove, but I mean, they were only getting maybe a half a tenth on me to a tenth. And when we got to, I don't know what it was, lap 44, before we got that caution, I was thinking, man, it's going to be just another one of those races where I save tires and it just doesn't pay off. And then once we got that first caution, I knew we'd be all right. Those restarts were really tricky. The Delaware double file there, I didn't know whether to go top or bottom. I did both of them. In the top, I felt like the top, if you entered in one, at least somebody wouldn't run you over. Where if you entered the bottom in turn one, there's a good chance I break earlier than most guys here, so there's a good chance of getting run over. So decided to go with the top, and I don't think it was actually any better, but it was safer. Hannigan threw a slider on me one time, and then I crossed him back over, and I'm sure Jeremy was right there too. So I don't know if he had to check up for me or not, but yeah, the good thing about no mirrors is you make your decision and you just kind of roll with it.
Absolutely, gotta roll with it, gotta take what you can get out there, and luckily enough for yourself, enough time, enough laps, and not any late race caution flags to really bring this race into question, as you were able to steal that race lead away from Massey and just start to pull away from the rest of these guys, man. I'm sure you were watching that relative and seeing that you are starting to pull farther and farther away from them, showing that you definitely had the best car late in this race, and that none of them could really hang with you, man. That had to feel pretty good, knowing that you wanted to come here, want to have another good run, at least for the points wise, but you also wanted that other win. I know you've talked about it for a lot of weeks here coming up into the broadcast booth, that you want to put another W into the win column here before the end of the season, and here we are tonight, being able to pick up a big win and stretch out your points lead going into that championship race next week.
Yeah, I was watching the relative, and I was actually trying to back my speed up a little bit. I just kept using less throttle and less throttle just in case we had one more caution, and the gap just kept on growing and kept basically doing the same thing. And then the last lap, I hammered down on it. I got to go look at my lap times to see if that was any better hammering down, or maybe just the finesse was actually better off. But yeah, I don't get to pass Jamie like that very often, so that felt pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Had to feel good there, being able to pass him, and then obviously keep all these other drivers back there at bay, including the two guys that are chasing you down here for the point standings. Now, I know Hannigan was able to win that state or heat race from you, but you come home in second, so you do gain points there in the heat race on Jeremy Sexton, and you gain some good points here on him in this feature event as he comes home in third. How you feeling going into that championship race, knowing that you may have, almost a 30-point lead going into that race?
Yeah, I think we'll be able to. I think we'll be able to run pressure off as long as we don't get a huge car count or something. But if we get the 20 something cars we've been getting, I think we'll be pretty good. Just gonna try to race like I do every other week, and tonight, obviously tonight the points. I was points racing, but I mean when you got a chance at winning these races, it's hard to win these races. It's like you said, it's only number two. I think this is our 11th race, and when you got one that you can get, you got to get it. And next week will be no different. We'll try. Not really my best track, but we'll see what we can do at Lucas Oil.
Absolutely. Well, we can't wait to see you guys back in action. But T-Jack, who'd you like to thank for another great run and another win here this evening as you park that beautiful Alpha Shark ride up here into Victory Lane?
Yeah, thanks to all my friends and family that watch, you for the broadcast, Jim for everything he does. I know he's already working on another season and trying to iron some of that stuff out. Got to thank Josh Patterson for this wrap, a really good looking wrap. Yeah, Dustin and Jeremy, man, I've been averaging the third place finish, and I really just those guys are on my heels every week. They're either in front of me, or if I win, they're one spot behind me. So, congrats to both of them on a good season so far, and good race to Jamie too. I know he's here just to win, so he's probably pushing a little harder and probably wishes he saved a little bit now, but that's just part of it. If we wouldn't have got those cautions, he might have won the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. If those yellow flags never came out, could have been a completely different story here this evening. But it played out the way it did, and you find yourself up here in victory lane. Tyler, congratulations on the dub here at Williams Grove Speedway, man. We can't wait to see you back in action for our championship race there at Lucas Oil next Wednesday.
All right, hopefully we're talking to you again next week. You have a good night.
You as well.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Tyler Jackson, as T-Jack picks up the dub here this evening, as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher here this evening, Dustin Hennigan. It's Jeremy Vaughn and the Jets' nice win, T-Jack. Happy Thanksgiving, Peacemaker. G2G. We'll see you later, brother. Have yourself a wonderful night, Jeremy. And yes, happy Thanksgiving to yourself. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you amazing people, all you amazing fans in the stands. If you're from the U.S., if you're like me and you're from Canada, Thanksgiving was a month and a half ago, so we don't have to worry too much about that. But let's bring in Dustin Hennigan right now for his post-race interview. Hey, Dustin, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Dustin, man, another solid run, another great race here for you, man. Take us back through this one. Obviously, some tough, tight racing there all evening long between, yourself and Jamie Massey. You throw in T-Jack there later on, and Jeremy Sexton, Philip Sexton right there as well, man. It was a hell of a show and some great racing there at the front of the field, man. You're able to come home still with a very solid second-place run. Take us back through what's going through your mind.
Yeah, started not good with a good pill draw. Won the heat, feature, got out front pretty early, Massey and them were all over me, and he got around me, and kind of rode behind Massey trying to keep up with him, and then towards the end of the race, T-Jack got around me. I felt like he definitely had way more tire than I did, and then I finally ended up getting around Massey right there, last couple laps, just ride.
Yeah, absolutely. Just ride. Try to hope for a caution flag. That way you can get another chance or another opportunity to go after Tyler Jackson here late in this race. But unfortunately, that opportunity never came out. He was able to pull farther and farther away from you. But you hang on to second here. You're able to gain a few more points again on Jeremy Sexton. So as much as the championship is starting to become, a little bit out of reach, that battle still for second here in the points continues to heat up between you and Jeremy for second place here in that points battle, man. Take us kind of through that. What's going through your mind knowing that next week is our championship race?
Yeah, me and Jeremy were just talking about it. I think the points leads out for both of us. T-Jack's internet would have to go out or something. There's no passing him, I think. But I think me and Jeremy will be tied in points going into the last place or last race. So try to outrun him and get second place in points.
Yeah, absolutely. Still a good silver lining at the end of the day, being able to come home, second in a race or second in the points. It always sucks being the bridesmaid, but here tonight, man, it was another good run, another good drive, and again, second place run. You get some good solid points, but just running out of time here on the season. Unfortunately, it stings a little bit, but you got to be happy with your amazing runs and performances, and including tonight with another great run here in this one, man. Who'd you like to thank so far throughout this season to give yourself this opportunity and put yourself into this position to still come home top 3 in the point?
Everybody at DDR, y'all you for broadcasting, and Jim and his crew for putting on this league and getting us a place to race.
Absolutely. Well, Dustin, one more race, one more shot here to try to win your 5th race of the season, which I know now that no one else is going to catch you, man. You are going to be locked in as the most winningest driver of this season. And whether or not you come home second or third in the points, man, that's definitely going to be something that you can brag about a little bit, know that you got more wins than all these other drivers. But, man, heck of a season so far, and we can't wait to see you back out there for one more dance here in the Wednesday night street fights in the Dirt Warrior Racing League.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Dustin Hennigan as Hennigan comes home in position number 3. We'll get ready now to pull in our 3rd place finisher, the 2020 ride of Mr. Jeremy Sexton. Let's get Jeremy up here into the booth. Hey, Jeremy, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
Yes, sir.
Jeremy, man, another solid run, another good drive for you here tonight. Unfortunately, the two guys that you're battling with here in this championship hunt both come home just in front of you, man. Take us back through this race. What's kind of going through your mind as you're continuing to try to battle for this championship, or at least maybe second place in the point standings here? And obviously here tonight in this one, Hennigan able to win that state or the heat race, come home second here in the race, and then T-Jack there just in front of you as well in both of them, man. It's got to sting a little bit here this evening, knowing that you gave up that little bit. Now it's going to be real tight between you and Dustin for that second place in the point standings going into our season finale next week, and maybe kind of out of touch there for T-Jack to lose this championship.
Yeah, me and Dustin were just talking about it in Discord. I think that'll probably put us tied going into next week, which it makes it interesting. I don't think neither one of us had a shot at catching T-Jack without something crazy happening, obviously. At least make it fun and interesting for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. At least we get to watch you two duke it out for the night and battle there for that second place in points. And for T-Jack, obviously, you know, you got to give him his flowers, man. Just so consistent all season long. And being able to just come home now here in the 11th race with his second race win of the season, you know, that's just a testament to how good this talent pool is and how good the series has been. Seeing, you know, so many different winners and being able to watch you guys right down to pretty much this last race figure it out here for the championship.
Oh yeah, he's definitely consistent and had some good draws and capitalized on everything when he needed to. Just ran a perfect season for the most part, and I think his average starts like fifth and average finishes third, maybe even better after tonight. I think the last I looked, I was like 10th average start and fifth average finish. So passing cars just need to get closer to the front in the heats.
Yeah, absolutely. Giving up that extra bit of time or anything else, or just having to burn up your tires a little bit more to try to earn that track position, unfortunately, just kind of eats away at your momentum throughout these feature events. But here tonight, man, the car looked good. We saw you, though, having an early on battle there. I do believe it was I can't remember if it was Monaghan or Ellington. There was a couple cars that you battled with there right out of the get-go, door to door, and then you kind of slid into that fifth position. You hung out there for a while behind Tyler Jackson, and then obviously some of the craziness and all the restarts there through the middle portion of this race. We thought for certain that, you know, maybe you had a little extra saved up there, maybe you had something there left in the tank for Tyler Jackson and obviously Massey and Hennigan, and maybe just trying to bide your time still through some of those yellows. And here we are late in the race, being able to finally get around Phillip and Jamie, but obviously just not enough time or enough tire lap there to try to go after Dustin Hennigan or T-Jack here this evening, man. Take us back through tonight's feature event and what's kind of going through your mind.
Yeah, first the heats. I don't know if it's the shorter practice time now or not as many cars, but the heats are staying so locked down, it's really hard to pass. So in the feature, I knew if I could just keep from wrecking anybody and messing myself up, that we'd have a decent shot. So early, me and Evan battled a little bit, and I kind of got in behind Tyler, and I seen he wasn't moving off the bottom, so I knew where he was going with tire strategy. And finally, I just decided just to let them go and hopefully have a caution and have some tires left at the end because I knew he would have good tires and hopefully the other three wouldn't. Um, I don't know what the deal is with iRacing, but I lose spots on a start and don't get past, but then I pass people and don't get the spot. So not sure if I had Dustin clear one time, but I know I had Phillip cleared and it gave him a spot back. Um, I felt on the one restart, I was on the bottom. I felt I was a little better than Dustin because I figured he had wore his tires out. And then I got stuck back on the top and tried to time it. I went to go a touch earlier than him, and it caused me to cut down and catch Phillip's right rear. And then they got too far ahead and was able to get Phillip at the end. And I think Jamie just kind of moved up and let us go because of the points, not risking anything there because he don't really have anything to deal with that.
Yeah, absolutely. A good bet removed there. Obviously knew that he wasn't in line to win the race any longer, so just allowed you guys to kind of duke it out there late in this race for the points battle here this evening. So good move for him, and obviously great move for you, as it still gives you a shot here at obviously that extra point and being kind of tied with Hennigan, maybe not a point or two behind him going into that season finale race. So that should make things very, very fun. It's going to be very awesome to watch you guys battle there at Lucas Oil Speedway for our season finale. But here tonight in the penultimate race, another third place run, another podium finish for you here tonight. Jeremy, who would you like to thank for another great performance?
First and foremost, God, my wife for dealing with me on here. Hadn't got to race much the last couple of weeks, been down in my back and dealing with sickness. So hopefully I can get back on here a little more. All the guys in the kennel, Jacob, Phillip, Marcus, Seth, Derek, JC, Jordan, all the guys with Cocky Floyd, you for the broadcast, Jim and DWR for the league and giving us somewhere fun to race with good competition. Just everybody that makes this whole deal go round, and everybody that supports this. And my buddy Dave still watches. My dad watches. It's just fun. Give us something to do, and hopefully everybody enjoys it, and we can get more people on during the off season and put on some good shows.
Absolutely, brother. More good shows, more great racing, man. We can't wait to see you guys here for the season finale next week, and for some more of these races in the future as well, maybe after the holidays or whenever Jim's got things lined up for, maybe some more fun races or another season of the Wednesday night street fights. Nonetheless, man, it's going to be a lot of fun watching you guys battle there next Wednesday night, and hopefully, have yourself a wonderful Thanksgiving and a great holiday, and hopefully we see you right back up here in the booth for our season finale as well.
I sure hope so, man. And you have a happy Thanksgiving as well.
I appreciate that, brother. It's already past my Thanksgiving. I'm Canadian, so
okay.
Ours was a month and a
bad.
half ago. But you're good, brother. You're good, my boy. It's always
Well,
fun.
whatever y'all into up there, then.
Yeah, it'll be just a regular weekend for me, I guess. But Jeremy,
I'm not big on holidays, so.
Yeah, I feel you. Me neither, man. It's just another day.
I'd
brother.
rather have a steak.
There we go. There we go. All right, Jeremy, enjoy the rest of your night, brother, and congrats again on a third place run.
Thank you, man. You have a good night.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Jeremy Sexton. As Jeremy comes home in position number 3 here this evening. Heck of a run, heck of a drive there for that 2020 ride. Unfortunately, though, that will do it for us here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the amazing racing action has come to a close. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love and enjoying the amazing racing here all evening long. And if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor, hit the like button on the stream right now for us, drop a couple comments, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. Turn those bell notifications on, that way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. And we will catch you guys back in here in the next one. Now with the obviously the Thanksgiving holidays around the corner here this weekend, I don't think we're back until Sunday. I want to say Sunday. So we may have a few days off for the holiday, even though it's not a Canadian holiday. It may be a holiday for us. But we'll have to wait and see what kind of gets going, and maybe we'll get a couple of just random streams in there. Maybe Friday, Saturday kind of deal. Get some random streams in. Get you guys in for some community games, whether it's in iRacing or Call of Duty or Fortnite or Fall Guys or who knows what we'll get into for craziness there on those couple of days. But we can't wait to see you guys back in here, man, and we hope you guys have yourselves a very happy, healthy, and fun and amazing Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving weekend, man. Hopefully safe shopping if you're going out Black Friday shopping. Hopefully you're safe and no problems, no issues, and hopefully you get home safe and buy yourselves something nice, or your family something nice for Christmas, as it's coming right around the corner. But can't thank you guys enough though for tuning in, showing the love here in this one, and we will see you guys back in here in the next one, man. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Roaring engines rip the night, burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels screaming, spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Crowds gather up like wolves, howling for that speed. Races blood pumping fast, gasoline is all they need. Tracks alive like a monster, the dirt flies